This is not financial advice. I'm just talking about why 50-50 makes more sense from a logical perspective for men and women to do this. Just to caveat, women, you don't deserve anything. You earn what you get. There's no deserving of anything, right? What's going on, ATM fam? Back again with another video. In today's video, I kind of wanted to give my take on the whole 50-50 conversation that we have within America. It's not, specific to any particular race. It's kind of a universal thing in our country. And I wanted to kind of debunk, just from my experience and the data I have behind me for my lifestyle, because I'm more of the average man. I make $52,000. This is before a bump in pay that is being projected within the next couple weeks. So I wanted to kind of dive into that and give you my take on it. So personally, 50-50 is a dumb conversation if we're having this from a logical perspective, because we have on one side, women are saying that they don't want to, women who are single or in marriages may give their opinion, that they don't want to be in a 50-50 relationship. They're looking for the benefits of a traditional relationship without being traditional women, because majority of these women are more modern, which is fine. There's no big deal on you being modern and wanting your cake and try to eat it too. It's just not going to work. Men have smartened up and wised up and stopped simping for females out here that are not deserving of it. Just to caveat, women, you don't deserve anything. You earn what you get. There's no deserving of anything, right? So just to throw that caveat out there, it's not really necessarily about deserving. It's about what you earn and who you are and what your value is to that particular man or those men that are in your particular salary bracket or age bracket, or most likely your age and salary bracket. So when we're talking about the 50-50 conversation, we're having that dynamic of modern women wanting traditional men, whereas more of the traditional men are looking for traditional women. So that dynamic is always going to be an issue. And for more of the modern men who think 50-50 makes more sense, personally, I'm more traditionally minded, but I understand from the perspective of the modern men that it makes sense, right? So as we can see, at the very top is how much I make every 2 weeks, and I get paid the 15th of the month and then the end of the month. So you can say the 1st and the 15th, but usually I just say the end of the month. It makes it easier for me. So after taxes, it's $1,460, and that's not counting any overtime. That's not counting any changes in pay at the current moment in time. But this is usually what I bring in, no matter if I do overtime or not, right? So you have the $1,460, and then I break it down to the 1st of the month or the end of the month, and then the 15th. So for me, the 1st of the month is the one that is money's going out more. And that's due to $1,250, but it's really $1,260 with the additional $10 fee. So you can say $1,260. So then you have gas and closures. It's $100. Usually, the majority of it is going to gas dollars. And then I have LA Fitness, which is is actually a different gym, but they're the same price. They're $35 to $36 a month. So then you have on the 15th, you have the car note, and obviously my car note is a lot smaller. I got my car right around the pandemic or right before it. So I know I have a $289 car note. The car insurance has fluctuated. It's gone up and down. Usually try to find the best one. So it's $220. Internet has gone from $120 to $135 or $135 or something like that. Obviously they're higher taxes and not really giving you a better service. It's just higher taxes to take more money from you. Spotify is $11. I don't really like ads when I'm working out or listening to a podcast or anything like that. Hair is gone. I used to have locks. I don't have them anymore, obviously, as you can see. Student loans are $240. I do not pay student loans at the current moment in time because I'm in school again, so they're kind of being on I wouldn't say deferment, but they're kind of on hold until I finish school, which probably won't be for another couple of years. But I have electric, which is the electric bill is around $100. It fluctuates from I've seen, the lowest I've seen is 76. The highest I've seen is like 110 or 120. We'll see what it is this week or this month, because of I was using heat a lot more because of the cold. Obviously, phone has gone from 113 to about 130, 140. I got a newer phone. Gas is the same as the other. Rent insurance is 30, and then credit card is 100. Usually credit card is between 100 and 150, depending on me making like minimum payments at this current moment in time. So as we see with all of this, majority of the time I barely have anything on the first of the month, but then on the 15th I have between like $400 extra, but that's not counting food and coffee or anything like that. So usually if I have anything free, it'll be like $100 a month. The reason the 50-50 conversation makes sense more from the man's perspective is because if I could have someone come in, which, I'll get into that in a second, and take half of the bills, and then I take her half, and we come together and work on, okay, if she's making around the same, same amount that I'm making, we're cutting a lot of the unnecessary stuff, and then we start to work on each other's debts, but I'll get into that in a little bit. But if you have the 50-50 conversation and you take half of what you have and what I have, and we come together to try to tackle everything, we're going to look at it from a perspective that it makes more sense logically to do that, because we can cut down on, well, she won't need internet, right? Obviously, we're using it as coming together and living together, right? I just want to put that out. So you would have no need for her having an internet if she has an electric. Phone bill will go up, obviously, because you two are using unlimited data. The rent will go away, because you're not paying $12.50 like I would be. Let's say we're both paying like $6.25 or whatever it is. Together, food would cut down. Obviously, there's still going to be two people, but a lot of the stuff that is unnecessary in here would go away from her side, and we come together, and then we can start to tackle bigger debts that we may have, right? So the reason I'm saying that the debt doesn't, the 50-50 conversation makes no sense for women not to do it, is because you, instead of paying all of your bills and being this boss babe, I don't need no man trope that is kind of getting really old and dusty, is that you're able to take half of your bills, give them to somebody else, or take half of your bills and just wipe them clean, like internet, like half of your phone bill. You can be on you both can be on your same car insurance. It may go up $100 or something like that, but you're not paying $200-300 for, or even $400 nowadays for a lot of people with these prices that they have out here. You have less issues to deal with, right? You still may want your own car, and you may want your own phone and stuff like that. You don't want to be too dependent on each other, especially if you're not married, but it makes no sense not to, right? So I kind of wanted to get into talking about the debts that I have on the side, and this is kind of how men and women have, not only do we have the reoccurring bills, but you also have debts that you want to pay off, like we have with student loans. We have, the car itself, phones that we could pay off and lower our bills, right? This is not financial advice. I'm just talking about why 50-50 makes more sense from a logical perspective for men and women to do this. Now, as we see, the debts I have a mindset and goals to pay off by 2025 is my Montgomery taxes that I have, like IRS taxes, right? I have a Perkins loan for school. This is the IRS taxes that I have, is like $3,700. Hospital bill, Liberty Mutual bill that I owe, my AT&T phone bill, and then I have my car note, school, and then and an emergency fund is over here. But these are kind of what I'm picking to pay off starting in March of 2025, because the rest of January and February I will be paying. I'll be paying for a trip for my mother to go to Jamaica. That was her birthday gift for last year. I didn't get the money together like I should have at the end of the year, but anyway, it's going to be paid, and she's going to be able to do what she wants to do. The reason that the 50-50 conversation makes more sense is because, as you see, as we see with the bigger whiteboard, we have the reoccurring bills, majority of them, but we have the main bills, we have the reoccurring bills are here. Then the debts that are over here are ones that once we pay them off, they're not reoccurring, right? So we have the, there's some of them like the AT&T phone, the car note that are considered reoccurring at this current moment in time because we have an outstanding balance of, for the AT&T phone, I have an iPhone 16 Pro Max, which is what's recording. That's $1,300, and then my car note is $26. I've been paying, doing 2 jobs. I stopped doing 2 jobs, but I was doing 2 jobs last year to pay it down. It was like at $9,000, and at the end of the year, I was down to like $3,000 or whatever it was. Why I think from your bills perspective and what you may want to do in the future, the 50-50 makes more sense. Great. So as we've seen from my bills, and I'm more of the average man, I would be considered broke or dusty by some women, which is fine. It doesn't bother me. I don't really care too much. The goal is to be financially free and not really worry about paying some woman I don't really give a fuck about her lifestyle. It makes more sense for you to find a man that you want to build with. Y'all work together to pay your reoccurring bills down and your debts down, getting all your debts, majority of your debts done within the first 2 to 3 years. Don't fucking have kids. Work together. Fuck getting a house and all that dumb shit. Get together for you two to work on what is important, which is the debts. Less debts means less stress about what you gotta pay for besides your reoccurring bills. The less debt you have in the long run is going to make it easier for you if you want to buy a house or you want to go on traveling trips and all that. But the ending point to this is 50-50 makes most sense. From a logical perspective, taking our emotions and how we feel about the now, women, get out of your short-term feelings and getting to your long-term bag. The long-term bag is getting with a man who understands having families is valuable and you understand the same thing, and that you two want to work together. Sacrifice your now for your future. That's really what it is. It's sacrificing your now and your immediate happiness of wanting to go on a trip and have somebody pay for your bills and you be like a child and just not have to worry about anything. That's stupid. Find someone that makes most sense to you. Understand each other's value. If you're more modern minded as men and women, it is okay to work 50-50. He may do the rent, you may do some of the utilities, and then y'all sit down like grown adults, like you would do in a business, and see what your expenses are and who is taking what. So then as you're growing and as you're excelling and now the debts are lowered, even if you both have to work 40, 50 hours a week, if you know you're paying everything and everything's getting paid off slowly and slowly and slowly, long term, within 2 to 3 years, you don't realize how far you can get with you two being a team. It's about being a team and excelling to get to the championship. The championship is being debt free, right? And then the championship after that is being, having like either a nuclear family or whatever it is for you people. The last thing I'll say is modern women want traditionally minded men without being traditional women and think that 50-50 makes no sense, when in reality, they're using the Russians and they're using other groups of men who are more traditionally minded and not realizing their women work too. So there's no difference in what you're saying when you go overseas and try to act like American men are so bad. No, when you go overseas, those women are working as well. And if you don't believe me, take your ass and go see it in person. ATM family signing out. Peace.